You know, the whole Bible is a story about generosity. The gospel at its core is a story about God's generosity. God's generosity. One of the most well-known verses in the Bible, John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son." Generosity is something that flows out of a heart of love. Generosity is not about compulsion or guilting or condemning or obligation. Generosity is about a heart condition that flows out of love. But there are some myths swirling around even in the church today. Some things that are not quite true about God's perspective on finances, God's perspective on giving, God's perspective on what he is calling followers of Jesus Christ to do in regards to the money that he's given them to manage. And we're going to look at a few of those myths starting today with myth number one. Myth number one is the money we give is ours. I mean, think about it. Whenever you talk about the money that's in the bank account with your name on it, or in the credit card account with your name on it, or the cash that's in your hands or your wallet, you speak of it like, this is my money, my bank account. I go to work, I earn my money. I get retirement benefits, it's my money. I get Social Security benefits, it's my money. We talk about the money as if it's ours because that's the way we were raised. That's the way for so many years outside of Christ we thought and we lived and we acted as if it were our money. But the truth is, all right, the myth is that the money we give is our money. But the truth is, God is the owner of everything, including all that you currently possess or ever will possess. We are only his managers. We're only his managers. First Chronicles 29:11-12 says, "Everything in heaven and earth is yours, O Lord. Wealth and honor come from you. You are the ruler of all things." Psalm chapter 50, verses 10-12. God says, "Every animal of the forest is mine, and the cattle on 1,000 hills, and the creatures of the field are mine. The world is mine, and all that is in it." Haggai 2:8 says, "The Lord Almighty declares, the silver is mine and the gold is mine." Leviticus 25:23, God says, "The land is mine and you are but aliens and my tenants." And then finally, First Chronicles 29:14-16. This is David's prayer after the people gave generously to a building project. He said, "But who am I and who are my people that we should be able to give as generously as this? Everything comes from you, and we have given you only what comes from your hand. We are aliens and strangers in your sight, as were all our forefathers. Our days on earth are like a shadow without hope. O Lord our God, as for all this abundance that we have provided for building you a temple for your holy name, it comes from your hand, and all of it belongs to you." If we belong to Christ, it's logical that everything we have truly belongs to him. And when we give to God, we're just taking our hands off what already belongs to him. Imagine that you were the owner of, let's say, a KFC franchise, and you had some employees, including some managers that worked for you. And you met with your managers after their first month on the job to kind of go over the finances from the previous month. And your manager sat down with you and you looked at their reports and you looked at the receipts and you looked at the expenditures, and something didn't seem quite right to you as the owner as you were looking at these reports. And so you asked your managers about them, and every one of them said something like this: "Oh, well, We were the ones doing all the work, and we just assumed the money was ours. Or imagine one of them saying something like, yeah, we had a great month, and I made sure that the bills were paid and the lights were kept on and all of the products that we needed were shipped to the store. And there was quite a bit of money left over. So I bought myself a hot tub with it. Or imagine one of the other managers saying, yeah, this is my report. Honestly, I didn't do such a great job recording everything, but I think I recorded some of the important things here. But you can trust me. You can trust me to know that I handled everything correctly. Well, if you were the owner of that franchise and your managers had those kind of reports to give back to you, what do you think your very first action would be at your very first meeting with these managers? That's right. You would fire them, because even from a human level, we understand this isn't proper management of an owner's finances, of an owner's business. We understand from a very basic human level that managers take care of, managers handle well, managers keep good records of, managers work for the owner, and everything there belongs to the owner, and the managers just take care of what the owner entrusts to them. How much more important is it that we begin to live with a mindset that we are not the owners? Everything we have comes from God, and we are simply managers of what he puts into our hands. If you own, quote, your own business, it's not your business. You're a manager in it, even though legally the documents here might say you're the owner. God's the owner if you belong to him. If you have a bank account or a 401k or a retirement account or a savings account for that vacation you wanted to take for a long time, all that money belongs to God. You see, there's another myth closely connected to this one that says God needs your money. And there have been some television personalities that have made people believe that. God doesn't need your money, but you need to manage God's money. And some of those ways of management include saving. Some of those ways of management include giving. And some of those ways of management include spending. And some of those ways of management include investing. But it's God's money, and you and I are the managers. And that's the dispelling of myth number one.